From years of anxiety to warrior and mentor, Bradley Robinson created the Anxiety Project to help you end your anxiety naturally. Let's mold the new you and let's end anxiety together.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Anxiety Project podcast number 21. I am your host with the most on anxiety recovery. Today, I'm talking about my morning routine. When I get up in the morning, I do this important routine that sets me up for the day. It propels me into the day and into nighttime where I can finally look back onto the day and be like, well, I had a really productive day. The day went really well. And not every day goes the way you want it to go. But when I set myself up for the day in the morning with this routine, my days are always better. They always come out better. I always have a vision of what I want to accomplish, what I want to get done. And when I was suffering from anxiety, I didn't have a routine. There was no routine in place. I would get up in the morning. I wouldn't even make my bed. I would get out of bed, grab my clothes quickly, put them on, and I wouldn't even shower. And I would go downstairs. I would eat breakfast. I wouldn't even taste the food I was eating. I wasn't conscious of what I was consuming. I didn't have a diet or anything I was implementing. I would drink coffee and then and during all of my mornings, I wasn't a morning person. I was not a morning person. I don't know, I was very, what's the word? I had a lot of catastrophic thoughts about how the day was going to unfold, where, I was thinking like, what if I mess up on this new job where I'm going today, And I was working a lot of different jobs too, because I was working in the film industry at the time, and I was going to different jobs all the time, different crews, film crews, and I was constantly going from one show to another show, and that always made me nervous. I was always wondering, what if I mess up? What if I arrive late? What if I don't feel good today? What if I'm just too tired to function properly? And all of these thoughts, what if thoughts, would consume my mornings, and I would just be like slugging and dragging myself around the house, just trying to get myself motivated just to get out the door. So I was very, very internal, and my mornings were always like this, and I was always nervous in the morning, and that would kind of set my mood up for the day, because your attitude and your state in the morning kind of sets you up for the rest of the day. And that was the case with me. I was just trying to get through one day, and then I was trying to get through another day, and I was trying to get through another day, and I realized that I was not a morning person. And then right now, moving forward, I am currently doing a routine that I've been doing for the past 2 years now that completely changed my life. And I had to ingrain a morning routine. If you don't have a morning routine in your life, then it needs to be constructed. And I had to construct my routine over a long period of time. Yes, I'm still tweaking at it, my morning routine, but I had to implement a technique in any routine. I had to just start something where I can, set my day up properly. And that works. I don't even have the words. I'm blanking here. It's just so important. crucial. And I do this routine every day, and even though I might have a bad day, maybe here or there, my days have always been better because of it. And I'm going to share with you what I do exactly in the morning that sets me up for the day properly. Now, if you're going through anxiety right now, if you have an anxiety disorder, constructing a morning routine is absolutely crucial, because you need to sit with yourself in the morning and visualize how you want the day to go instead, right? Instead of what you've always been doing. Because what you've always been doing it's pretty wrong, isn't it? You know, everything that I was doing when I had anxiety, it was wrong. So I had to start doing new things and implementing new things. And I realized when I sit in the morning and I meditate and I kind of visualize how I want the day to go, my unconscious is taking notes of it, and my subconscious would try and bring in all of that new stuff, the new positivity, and it did. Your unconscious pays attention, and when you start using visualization exercises, you are tapping into that subconscious. You're telling your subconscious, this is what I want. I don't want to be anxious and fearful and all of this stuff. I actually want to be empowered. I want to be confident, and I want to get through the day with clarity instead of fogginess. So the visualization meditation was absolutely important, okay? So my current morning routine, I'm going to get into this right now. I get up in the morning and I instantly make my bed. As soon as I get out of my bed, I make my bed and I make it look nice. Now, why would I do that? Why would I make my bed? I am actually implementing what's the word here? I'm being very orderly. And I am being responsible, because making your bed and taking that effort to make it look nice and not messy, that's taking on responsibility. So I wake up and first thing I do is take on responsibility. I make sure it looks nice. Okay? And that's crucial, because if our lives are chaotic and we're anxious or running around in a chaotic state and in a chaotic state of mind, we're not very orderly, are we? We're not very in control. We're not very we're always running away from the dragon. We're not facing the demon. And when you start to implement responsibility in the smallest of spaces, and if you take your room, for example, and you start to tidy up your room, you start to make your bed, and you start to make your books on your shelves neat and tidy, you start to vacuum, you start to dust, what happens? You're taking on responsibility, but that responsibility snowballs into the outside world, right? You start to manage other aspects of your life in a positive way, because it's like, you may think like, well, making my room, like making my bed, what the heck is that going to do? Messy room is a messy mind. We have to take on responsibility, and that responsibility will snowball. and it will snowball into the outside world. And that's why I make my bed. I take on the responsibility first thing. I make sure everything's orderly and clean. And I'm like, okay, well, that's done. And then when I finish that, I walk out of my room after I make my bed and into another room where I meditate. Now, in this room, I meditate every day. And what I would do is I'd put on my LED candles because I don't have any real ones at the moment. So I have these LED ones, which work pretty nicely. They set the tone of the room. It's pretty sweet. Also, I have a morning journal. So as soon as I turn on the candles, I will write in my morning journal. A lot of the time, if I have a dream of some sorts, I'll write the dream in my journal. I always like to make notes of what I'm dreaming about. I feel like dreams are a reflection of our unconscious. Our unconscious is trying to tell us something, right? So I always like to write down my dreams because I feel like, my unconscious is trying to tell me something. Why did I have a stressful dream? But anyways, I'd write the dream out very quickly, a sentence or two, very briefly. And then I would go into, and then I would list anything that's on my mind. If I'm actually like worried about something, if I remembered something I needed to deal with, I'd write it down quickly. Or if something crossed my mind and I didn't like it, I would write it down. But after that, I usually get right into what I'm excited about today. I list down 3 to 4 things I'm excited about today. I'm genuinely excited about. I write down like, I'm excited about meditating today, and I'm excited about eating a full enriched breakfast. And then I will write down, I'm excited about seeing my girlfriend today. We're going to have a nice dinner and I can't wait to just sit down with her and talk. Or I'm excited about learning something new at my job. Just learning one thing new. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about challenging myself today at my job. I'm excited about meeting my friend later. Just something that's going to uplift you. What are you excited about, man? Because I remember when I was a kid, I always had something exciting going on every day. I would jump out of bed. Do you remember that time when you were a kid? You just jump out of the bed every morning because you just wanted to play with the cool toys that you got, the cool toys or the wicked video game. I always jumped out of my bed in the morning and played that video game I always loved. And then when I got older, I realized I stopped being excited in the morning. And then I kept getting older, and then I was not excited about anything in the morning until now when I started writing in my journal, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about that. It's like, yeah, of course. We all have something to be excited about. It's really important that we get to notice it, right? If you're going through anxiety and you're trying to recover right now, and you're working hard and you're putting one foot forward each day, which is amazing. Just writing down, I'm excited to challenge myself today. I'm excited to challenge my anxiety today. I'm excited to write in my breakthrough journal tonight because I want to push through, and I want to become my higher self. So that is really important. What you're excited about today, that section is really important to me. And I usually write in my journal as well at the very top. This is what I forgot. I forgot to mention that. And at the very top, I write, today's the day I prove my old self wrong. Write that at the top of your journal because I wrote that at the top of my journal every day when I was going through anxiety recovery. Every day. Today is the day I prove my old self wrong. Okay, then you get into, if there's things on your mind, you list them. And then there's the excitement part where, what are you excited about today? And then at the end, I would have a couple mantras that I really like that attack my ego. I always write down in my journal, ego is the enemy. Just to remind myself that, ego is the enemy. Ego is something that's driving me unconsciously, and I always have to recognize when that's activated. So I always make a note of that. As well, I have a mantra, like I said, it's like an ego mantra that goes hand in hand with the last one. I write, I choose, not to aspire or seek out ego. Then underneath that, to have success without ego. Then underneath that, I write, to push through failure with strength, not ego. And that's my mantra. And I usually write that in my journal every day. After that, I write down a daily goal. What is my daily goal today? And you know what's funny about the daily goal? Sometimes I write down my daily goal and I forget my goal, and I come back later that evening and I realize, holy crap, I actually completed the goal and I had no idea. And then I think to myself, wait a second, that's just the unconscious. My unconscious took note of that goal because I wrote it down in my journal. My unconscious took note of it, seeked it out during the day, accomplished it without me consciously knowing, and then I realized I accomplished it. Like, what the heck? Like, that's what I'm saying, how powerful a journal is, because your unconscious knows it's recording everything. So if you write down a goal today saying anything, you're going through anxiety and you're afraid of, socializing with certain people, write down a goal. Say, like, I'm going to socialize with one person today for maybe a minute. You know what I mean? Gradual exposure, right? So I'm gonna socialize with one person today for about a minute today, and that's gonna be my goal. Sometimes you forget your goal. You're going about your day. Your day is kind of chaotic, and you complete the goal, and you realize, hey, wait a second, I actually did talk to that guy today for 5 minutes. Oh my God, I completed my goal. And then you write it in your breakthrough journal later that night. Okay? And that's the morning journal. That's the layout. It's not complicated, right? And you can customize it the way you want to customize it over time. This is just how I do it. This is just my morning routine. And then after I write in my journal, I meditate for 15 minutes roughly. If I have to really get up early and get going, it's 10 minutes. But usually most of the time it's 15 minutes. And I feel like that's just a time that works best for me. 15 minutes is great. Start out with increments of 5 to 10 minutes. If you're just starting out, just make it a routine. Okay. And that's great. And after the meditation, I get down on the ground and I stretch. There's no specific way that I stretch. I just stretch everything, my muscles, and I twist around, and I just make sure all my arms and legs are stretched out, and it feels great, and I'm sort of releasing tension that has been built up over the night. So I stretch everything out, and then after that, which is probably 3 to 5 minutes of stretching, I get up and I walk out the door. of the room, and then I get ready for the day. I'd brush my teeth. I'd eat my breakfast first. And yeah, that's my routine, guys. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Please subscribe on iTunes if you haven't. Please check out my YouTube channel, The Anxiety Project. Everything that you need to know about ending anxiety naturally is on that YouTube channel. Also, visit unpluganxiety.com if you have any questions about the coaching that I provide there. I provide it with NLP and CBT techniques, and it's absolutely great. I love you all so much. Do not let your anxiety define who you are. Have a great day. Bye-bye. For more podcast episodes, for more video content, and one-on-one coaching with me via Skype, visit www.unpluganxiety.com for everything you need to know about ending anxiety naturally. I love you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.